Hi everyone, we're at the Flying Dog Cafe. It's lunchtime, and the picture you're looking at is my friend Tammy's baby at 7 months, premature. You can put that down. We actually were talking the other day, and it seems that Tammy has a 12-year-old going on 13. She was visiting someone in Houston, Texas. She lives in Florida, or it wasn't Houston, but anyway. She was in the airport, ready to board the plane, 7 months pregnant, and she hemorrhaged right there in the airport. And after a while passed, somebody finally helped her and got her to the hospital. What is interesting about the story is everything she has to tell us about the NICU in Texas, where she was staying and where the baby was for 2 months. So I'm going to introduce Tammy. Hi, Tammy.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Great. I'm so glad you came to tell your story today. Once you finally got to the hospital, I understand they tried to keep you from delivering the baby, and you could only hold that back for about a week, correct?
Right. They couldn't get the blood pressure down, and the baby was in danger. So I actually went in on a Friday, and the following Thursday, they decided they had to take her.
Okay. So how did that go? Did it have to do a C-section?
It was an emergency C-section. Yeah, within about 5 minutes, I was wheeled out and in the emergency room, and that's the last thing I remember till she was out. Oh. Okay. So, well, I guess then you were separated from the baby for a while, and you were telling me that you could go into the unit. And tell me about, I know there's holes in those little incubation cribs, and they're hooked up to 20 things. Tell me what that looked like and what you were allowed to do at that point. The first couple of days, all I was allowed to do was sit there and put my hands through the incubator holes and just place my hands on her. They don't like you to pat them or rub them. Basically, just lay your hands there. Once she was doing a little bit better and a couple weeks had gone by, they actually would take her out with about 50, it seemed like, tons and tons of wires and tubes attached to her. They would strip her down, and I would literally tuck her down in my shirt so that her skin and my skin was connected. And they would let me sit there and hold her. And that was how we bonded, or I got to be close to her. But other than that, no, she lived in her little incubator for about 2 months, and I went every day with the nurses. I got to know them very well. I would read to her. I would sing to her. I spent about 7-8 hours a day, every day in that NICU until they told me she could come home.
It's sweet, but I can see where it took a lot out of you, I suppose, because you have to be there. You want to be part of that bonding. When you kangarooed her, was that so she could hear your heartbeat and be on your skin?
I think it's so that, it's like a bonding thing. They say, kangaroos with their pouch, and that's where the babies are. I guess because they're so small and there's so much you can't do with them that you can when you take a newborn home. It's a way of being close to them and getting to bond with them, and they can hear your heartbeat. So.
And you were telling me about like some other babies you saw when you were visiting every day, some twins.
Yes, there was twins in there, a little boy and a little girl, and I watched them and the other couple babies that were in her little unit with her. But the baby girl was actually growing and fine and went home, but the little boy was only born at just over a pound, and he was having a really rough way to go. He was on respirators and breathing tubes, and it was frightening because being in there every day with my daughter Ashley, you feel like you get to know all these other babies and their situations, and it's heartbreaking, but at the same time, you're so excited when one of them, finally gets to go home or gets off the breathing tube or makes that little step, getting that closer to where they need to be.
Wow, that's really something. So you have wonderful memories of the NICU where you were. We want to remind everybody who's listening that on May 23rd, Lady Sings the Blues will raise their voices here at the Flying Dog Cafe. And this is to raise money for the expansion of the Sarasota Memorial Hospital.
neonatal intensive care unit. They're going to make actually room for another 14 beds. They're relocating into a tower. This is scheduled to happen, actually be ready 2013. So I'm so glad Tammy could come today and tell her experience about the NICU. What would you say was the most meaningful thing that happened during that time? Like when your baby left, how much did she weigh?
4 pounds. We brought her home at 4 pounds even. It was the happiest day I think I've ever had, was the day that she finally got to come home.
Well, that's sweet. A sweet ending to a scary story. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Thank you, Tammy, for coming and interviewing.
Thank you.
Just wanted to say that Tammy, who is a waitress, a professional waitress, is, so involved in the feelings behind this because she was a NICU family person, that she's going to be one of our guest waitresses May 23rd at the Flying Dog Cafe when we have a Lady Sings the Blues event. $20 donation at the door gets you a lot of nice live entertainment, and food and beverage will be available. Oh, you're gonna be a celebrity waitress.
Okay, sounds fun.
Thank you, everyone.